Hello, BAME Farm fans. This is a momentous occasion. That is a corn plant. There's multiple corn plants. That sweet corn that we planted, oh shoot, it's been 12, 15? It's been in the ground 2 weeks. It made it out of the ground. It looks kind of yellow. We didn't really, haven't sprayed for weeds yet because we weren't sure what it was going to do, I guess, and it rained right after we planted. So, you can see those yellow lemony stripes, kind of like that's a bright green, more like a Deutz tractor. So that's that, but that's not why we're out here. We're out here for something else. Big reveal time, which probably already gave it away in the title. But let's go take a look-see at what we got. Well, we're chisel plowing. And what are we chisel plowing with? That's the real surprise. So as we slowly turn, oh, what has white rims like that? Oh, I guess we see the blue. Oh, holy cow. It's a Ford TW25. We're trying to be like George Saunders. I forget if his is a 25 or a 35, but we are now part of the Big Six Ford Club. And I guess we're gonna go straight for the money shot. Guess what it has? That's what we need more around here. Safety first, if we have to. Just because the tractor is labeled as such. Is an 83 model. It's first or second year production, I think first. It's got the rounded dome cab instead of like the flat top with the extra lights. All the lights are on the cab or the fenders. They're not factory, but they work. And they spread some light out. I'm sure there's been some touch-up painting to the blue over the years and to the white. Now the reason why there's the safety first, the previous owner was a construction company and used this tractor for contract bush hogging for the state, doing rights of way, roadside, wasteland, whatever. And well, he lost the contract. We found the ad yet again in the newspaper. I'm really starting to like Farm World a lot. None of this Facebook Marketplace stuff. I went on and on about this in the disc video. So it was a price tag. This is the most expensive single item that we own. And by we, well, I guess I mean Dad. Now, a lot of the tractors, equipment that has been, you know, shown off in videos is purchased in the last few years. Well, the skid steer, I guess Dad and I bought half and half, but I get most things I have purchased, and Dad wouldn't let me buy this. I partially blame that on the seller because he wouldn't let me pay for the tractor when I went and looked at it. Since I didn't have a way to take it with me that day, he wouldn't let me pay for it. And so Dad decided he had to have this tractor. It's a Ford 401 cubic inch turbocharged engine. Guess we might as well, should we show off all the features? I don't know, then I gotta work one-handed. Hold on a second, we'll put you on my head. You're now on my head. And we're going to pop open this side. Oh yeah, did anybody notice it's front wheel assist? That is glorious. That is glorious. We're gonna see that from the cab here in a second that it works. Lots of fuel out in front. An oil cooler. That's not even warm yet. I mean, we've only made 2-3 passes. The radiator. Oh, that's not cold anymore. Ah, there's an AC compressor. Yay, AC. Need to get the belt because the old man who owned this said he was a Vietnam vet and hated AC. I guess he loved just basking in the humidity, hot and sweatiness, which, I mean, after being in the jungles of Vietnam, I'm sure AC is a bit extreme on the cool down. You see this. If we look in here on my head, there's nothing. The 35 has the intercooler, not the 25. It's just like 2 3-cylinders stacked together. I mean, I'm sure all the parts and milling specs are very similar for bore and stroke. If not, it will share similarities with the 4-cylinder. Ford was great about uniformity. Power steering pump is fairly similar, but it does use one giant oil filter. More lights, more lights, more lights. It's got a triangle. That's good for safety. 3-point doesn't go down. It sat in the barn. We've had this tractor for a month. 3-point hasn't gone down, which is great. Chisel plow, yeah, we've seen this plenty of times, but we're checking out the back. It's got 2 remotes. I guess I haven't even addressed the tires yet. Look at these monsters. They're 20.8 38 Michelins, so we're just waiting for the sidewalls to crack out because that's what Michelins do. But they got a lot of tread, they got a lot of meat, and we are digging in, pulling the chisel plow. One thing I got to get used to is it doesn't have the sway system like the Internationals. It just has those blocks. If anybody out there in Fordland knows where to find it, we need the 540 and the 1000 shaft. It's not the lens bending this, the PTO shaft has been twisted, and I imagine that is from the bush hog work. He was pulling a 15-foot bush hog, and well, you know, if you want to break a PTO, bush hog or rototill, it's the best way to do it. This is the back side of the spin-out rims, cast centers, and there's no weight on the inside. You know, another thing a previous owner did was he took out the inside wheel weights that Ford hid in there. But he did that when he repainted the rims all nice and mostly shiny white, except for a little bit of rust coming through there on this donut. So at some point I gotta probably take these tires off and put that weight back in there. I'm probably gonna want it. I'm definitely getting the most out of the 4-wheel drive while chisel plowing. Factory top link. I already pointed out the triangle. I think before it was repainted a while ago, it spent many years not in a barn. And so my top goal is to keep it in a barn. We haven't even been in the cab yet, and look how nice it is from the outside. The owner told me when I went to look at it that it was sold, that if I didn't take it, somebody else was taking it. And I guess you've watched this long. I'll go ahead and kind of give away the price. It was $17,500. Yeah, it doesn't always feel like a steal of a deal when you spend that much money, but looking at other prices, and especially across Tractor House auctions, so far in my 4 passes of chisel plowing, it's a pretty good deal. I haven't run into any problems yet, other than, yeah, I got to put a belt on the AC. Everything turns with the AC components, and he said it worked when he took the belt off because he hated being nice, comfortable, and cool. Let's look up in here. Yep, that's where the intercooler on the 35 would be. Lots of dryness. The injection pump has been rebuilt because there's no paint on it. So dryness means no oil leaks, no other leaks. I believe it's been rewired for a different starter. These didn't come with Delco alternators. We'll kind of glance in there a little bit. ZF front axle, even, you know, fresh meaty tires on the front. Problem is, front wheel assist is hard. You can see the wear just from going down the road on the outside of that tire. So the, caster camber, I don't know if you can see it, probably means that the kingpins or ball joints that are non-greasable, that drives me nuts, are probably in decent shape since the wheels are running this way. I figured they would lean the other way if they were worn out. Haven't found any leaks on the power steering up front. That's going to be a big one because this cylinder is part of the front axle, and if that ever leaks, it's going to be a real beasting to deal with. Nobody ever takes these slab weights off. Tractor pullers don't want those. We've seen the paint. This side, that side. You know what? Let's go ahead and get in the cab and let's show off this big monster. Oh, like a kid in a candy shop with this thing. I'm just... And Dad didn't even look at it till it got here. He was going off of my word. And, well, you know, I guess I've had bad luck with the 2+2, but I thoroughly learned my lesson on the 2+2. Oh, look at that. Obviously aftermarket cab kit, but it's great. I do like the black. I actually kind of like it better than the blue. Not that the blue is too much, but the blue is soft. I don't know why I like the black. It's just nice. Kind of like having a nice dark black car. Matches the seat. There's tons of room for snacks, drinks. I don't know, whatever else. We could put our camera gear back here. Whenever I get a drone, plenty of space. Radio. I need to turn the key on. We can jam to some tunes. Radio works. The indicator for oil pressure, that works. Temperature gauge seems to work because it's lower than it was, but it didn't get up very high, and I feel like I'm pulling pretty good with the plow. Save some battery for the rest of us. That is for a safety flasher, a European style safety flasher. What else? Yeah, the fan works. Yeah, buddy. Better works for the AC. Huh. Yeah, it was a company owned because it's got the no smoking sticker. This is how we access some of the ventilation stuff up top. Headliner is pretty good. It's original. Not perfect, but for the age, it's fantastic. Now, this tractor is, holy cow, it's a 83 2021. It's still 40 years old. Pretty darn close. Wow. It's only 10 years older than me, and I still feel pretty good about it. I do have to find, I'm going to order from Fair, the door and window seals. That's how I know it sat in like a 3-sided barner outside, because those are dry rotted to the max. That's some of the original blue cab liner, which is in okay shape back there. We have a buddy seat / toolbox. At least we got hitch pins. Another Ford symbol. I don't know where that came from. Maybe they replaced the one out front. Wow, shoot, it's gonna break now. Yeah, why did I find that? Yes, they bent the key, but that's why it's gonna break. That mess right there. So this thing came from Danville, Illinois. Yep, didn't find it in Ohio. Not many big Fords around here. I gotta get used to this right-hand shift, because every time I want to, you know, pretend I'm in the 86s, the Internationals, and shift on the left. Sliding back window, great view, easy to see the drawbar, the 3-point while backing up. I mean, or we could like crook our neck and look out the bottom window, but it's easy to slide the back window and look out, which that is plenty low below the seat. There's no good back dash for your kids to take a nap, but I imagine with some work, you could probably strap your child's, not cradle, booster seat, baby carrier thing in over here and do pretty good, but I'm a long ways away from that. I think that's most of the inside details. Oh, this is the best part. Swivel seat. So I can really like knock my knees on stuff over here. If I want to, look out that window a bunch. I can't wait to ear pick with this. This is making me excited for fall. We barely have any corn in the ground. Yeah, PTO, 2 remotes. There's the shift pattern. Let's see. Yeah, little sticks high-low in the park. And the shift pattern is just about like the little Fords. This is great. This guy was assembled or made in Belgium, thanks to all the German on the gauge cluster. We're told the 3,000 hours was accurate and that something major happened at 2873. I'm a little unsure of that. You see how faded the white is on the oil pressure gauge, and the other two have brighter white along with the tack. I don't know if there's 2,800 hours on top of this 3,000, but I haven't found anything to complain about, and I drove this tractor I test drove it for 2 hours. Really drove the seller nuts. Because he kept telling me it was sold. He had a dairy farmer from Pennsylvania willing to show up and buy the tractor sight unseen. And after my experience with the 2+2, I'm going to abuse the tractor for as much as I can before I buy it to make sure the clutch when the dual power hold, and I was able to have this in 8th gear, road gear, 1800 PTO speed, jam and just put all my weight into the brakes and about killed the motor. So if something goes wrong, I tried my best to test drive it. I don't know, I give up. One thing that does drive me nuts is it oversteers real bad on the outside tire. I turn the 4-wheel drive off for turns, and based on the manual, the diff lock, I have to hit a brake to disengage the diff lock. Once I hit the pedal, the diff lock should stay on for however long I'm going straight before I hit the brakes. So let's give it the juice. We're in third gear. And let's drop the chisel plow. Okay, well, so that's two-wheel drive. I forgot to turn the two-wheel drive on, or four-wheel drive. So, as we guessed, these rear tires are not loaded. I'm gonna back out of that. We're gonna flip the four-wheel drive, because even though it's not geared that there's clutches, I don't wanna take my chances taking out the four-wheel drive clutches. There we go, we got four-wheel peel going on right now. And that's just how hard packed this is down here on this hill. There's a lot of clay, a little bit of rain, drive the combine across it once or twice in the fall, harvesting beans, and it turns into a brick, and that is why we chisel plow, right there. I'm definitely going to put those 500-pound donuts back on the back. I really don't want to put fluid in the rear tires. I really don't. But we don't run out of engine, and right back there spinning tires like that, that's how we know we've got a fairly solid drivetrain, at least the clutch components. I haven't found any oil spots in the barn where it's at. Like I said, I was in there for a month. You can see some white on the hood. I'm so mad about that. I parked it in the barn, and guess what? Birds. Birds. Little turd flying mice. I hate them. I like chickens, hate birds. Well, I pressed the diff lock button. If we look real close, we can see the rear tires are digging in. We're making a good track in the soil. It's not too wet. Could be drier because we're still, see how we're slabbing out chunks? It's not super dry. I pretty well have the draft control turned off. Draft control is driving me nuts because the point is to hook in and pull out the hard pan, not lift up the plow because it's hard pulling. So I'm gonna manually control that, drive myself nuts, wear out the linkage on the 3-point control, I guess. I need to adjust those mirrors. I can see something, but not what I want to see. Hey, look, that's us. We're shooting video. We're gonna make this a long one because I'm enjoying driving this tractor too much. It's a blast. And I can't believe, I gotta get Dad out here, see what he thinks. We'll make a whole other video about that. It'll be just like the combine. Well, except I bought the combine. Dad hasn't even driven his own tractor. We gotta work on my English there. One thing we're gonna see how long that lasts are those fenders. I'm just afraid, like out picking in the mud, we're gonna get some mud and corn stalks and try to rip one of them off on accident. 3-point's good and tight. When we lift the plow out of the ground, I don't have to worry about getting it out of the ground. And some of that's also based on the holes in the top link I picked for the geometry to make it lift up and tilt a lot. It has dual power, but I think the switch needs replaced. It's just a foot switch for old car and truck high beam lights. And that probably isn't good, unfortunately. That's the scary part, is the old man didn't even know this thing had dual power. Oh, what else can we go on about? I don't know. We're just gonna enjoy the ride. I can't wait to do a lot of plowing with this. So since this thing's going so well at the moment, assist off. I figured it could make it hard to turn. We will use the brake a little bit, but you see how the tire's plowing a little bit. That's not my favorite thing. Turn the front wheel assist back on. Drop the plow. Feel it bog down only a small bit. The governor kicks in. We're still rolling at 1800. Good for you guys watching as it is for me driving, but I'm not complaining one bit. Well, there's going to be plenty of time to get external videos of it in action. We don't want to give it away all at once, so I've hammered on for a long